change this program around a bit and something's not right.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Ooh, sorry, it's going.
Oh, okay. Rightio, people. Well, Wade Northhausen here for Billboard Battalion, and today we're coming to you on Saturday the 17th of August 2024. We've moved just over out of Victoria, just past Albury. We're a little bit north of Albury, just off the Hume Freeway, only a few k's out of Albury, and we're at the Ettamogah Pub. And for people who might know of the Ettamogah Pub, it was a massive, big cartoon that used to run, you know, for quite a number of years, and it was depicting an old country pub and country life, Australian folklore, Australian ocarism, and it was a brilliant thing that was read by many, many people for many years. And this is at a place called Tabletop. So we've come here. Tomorrow we'll be going to Stand in the Park, Albury, and we've come out here to the Ettamogah Pub to, you know, just promote the Ettamogah Pub to people, give it a bit of a punch and a bit of a lift, and try and, you know, raise a bit of awareness amongst people to come out and visit this area, because this used to be an operational pub here, and now it's just open for tourism, you know, just a few hours a day over the weekends. But, you know, there's also the Tabletop Hotel, which we'll be having tea here tonight, and we'll be staying here in the bus, use the facilities here, and just try and give things a little bit of publicity and a bit of promotion. You know, so we've been here before when it was actually operational, and you know, I suggest to many people, if you're going through Albury down the Hume, call in and have a look. It's a really, really great thing. It's become Australian iconic, and quite a remarkable building just to go inside and see what it's like. It is truly a remarkable thing, and it's along the same vein as many of the old pubs that are around the countryside. For people who've got around and had an opportunity to see many of the old wool sheds and all the old stations and so on, it's in that vein. So I truly recommend it, and you know, we'll be coming back here more often, because it's a really great place to look at. We've got a lot of stuff out the back also that's very interesting, so couldn't recommend that more. So I wanted to talk a bit, you know, about the live that we did last night, or yesterday afternoon, which came to us from Shepparton. That's where we did our live from next to the offices of Sam Birrell, who's the National Party federal member for the seat of Nickel. And you know, we're going to look very heavily at our politicians, both federal and state, and some of our councils as well, because that's become, it's really, really gone off. People are very, very interested to hear commentary now and be told or enlightened or educated as to the very, very catastrophic situation that Australia now finds itself in, and what role the politicians have played in getting us into this disastrous situation. So we intend the next week we'll be going and looking at, we'll be doing some commentary from Peter Walsh, his office in Ettamogah, who's the state member for Murray Plains. We might go across to Bendigo in central Victoria and look at Jacinta Allen's office. So we might do some commentary from there, who's now taken over as the Labor Party Premier after the disastrous, shocking Daniel Andrews. So we're not, although I used to be a young National Party member years and years and years ago, I got out of that because I saw how bad they were. And, you know, we're also going to look at not only the Nats, but the Liberals, the Labor Party, the Greens, the Teals, the whoever the hell it is, people who are in the governments and voting on legislation, because we've seen this disastrous digital ID bill. They want to also get rid of our cash. They also want to bring in these legislation about misinformation and disinformation. They're really setting us up for a disaster, and they've already started, and they are the ones who are doing it. You know, we look at all the other problems that we've got going around the countryside. Our farmers being wiped out, our food supply being destroyed, and now people cannot afford to live. And, you know, these are all massive issues. These are high impact issues. We're looking at new legislation being created that is going to make it enormously difficult for farmers. We're looking at new environmental laws, new environmental agencies that they want to bring in. And I want people to understand, and we'll be looking at this fairly heavily, is that these new agencies, or whatever they want to bring in, they are not about looking after the environment. They are agencies that will be weaponised to attack our farmers and to attack people's ability to move around the country, people's ability to go and have a look in the bush, in the forests, people's ability to do anything with their own backyards, whether it be their houses in the cities, their houses and properties in rural and regional centres, the whole thing. This is absolutely catastrophic, and the people who are causing us these problems are the politicians. They are the ones that are pushing this stuff. They are the ones who are not working for us. I say it again, and we'll keep saying this till we get some results and changes, is that the politicians that are in the parliament who make up the government, whether it be the opposition or the government of today, they are the ones who are working for the World Economic Forum, the United Nations and the World Health Organization. So, you know, these are the things that we are going to be really getting very serious about, because these are the things that are going to cause us catastrophic problems in our country and for our families and our kids. So we are now at the pointy end of the stick. There's so much going on. There's so much that these people are doing wrong, and there's so much that we need to take them to task over. And I know that I've heard a handful of people say, oh, look, these politicians don't really understand what's going on. They don't really know. Okay, right. Well, then let's have a look at that. If they're getting paid an enormous amount of money to know what's going on, then they damn well should. And many people say, oh, you know, the politicians are doing the wrong thing. They should be sacked. And I can remember the last state election, people were saying, sack Dan Andrews. Well, they should be jailed. I mean, that is weak. To say that these politicians who are deliberately setting our lives up to be destroyed and have already taken part in the death of many people, they should not be saying they should be sacked. They should be jailed. And my opinion is a lot more should happen. I think that given the magnitude of everything they're doing, the disasters they're setting us and our families up, they should be facing, as I've said before, military tribunals, military court-martials, where they are charged with capital crimes, because that is what is happening. So many of our politicians have either enabled people who have destroyed our lives, people who have cost our lives, and more importantly, politicians who are setting up now to cost more Australians their lives. And that is very real. That is absolutely correct. So we will be pushing to get a lot of information out of these politicians to hold them to account. And we need the Australian public to come in behind us and help. This is something that we need to expand enormously, because they're now passing legislation that is going to end our future and our existence. So therefore, we'll be going after them, we'll be bringing the pressure to them, and it appears right now that many of them don't like it, but many of the people in the public do. So we really need to be getting amongst it, because we are at ground zero right now, and they're, as I said, this is the pointy end of the stick, and they're bringing in the legislation that's going to cost us everything. So we need to be dealing with this right now. So Billboard Battalion, for one, is on the case, and we are going to be pushing them as hard as possible. We're going to be educating the public as to what's happening, and if it becomes necessary that we've got to educate some of these politicians, then we are absolutely prepared to do that, because we need to get changes, we need to get things fixed, and we need to take away their ability to say, oh, I didn't know, I didn't realise. Well, that's why we have to put the pressure on them. And as I said, there's many politicians in our governments now, they do damn well know what's going on, because they're working for our enemies. And as I said, I'll say it again, military court-martials, where these people are charged with capital crimes, because they have cost people their lives in very real terms, and they're setting up to cost a hell of a lot more their lives. So I'll say again, I've been promoting now, Billboard Battalion now has a section on our website, and also on our Facebook, that we now have the links to the website. If people want to become members, financial members of Billboard Battalion, that is very much appreciated. We also have the capacity for people to donate. So, you know, we're upping the ante here with what we're doing. We're starting to really go a lot harder than we have. So therefore, anybody who can give us a helping hand, we've got the bus here, just filled that up this afternoon. It costs a lot of money to keep fuel up to this, and the other expenses of what we're doing. So any help there could be very muchly appreciated. So we might just call it quits at that. Wade Northhausen here for Billboard Battalion. We're at the old Ettamogah Pub here at Tabletop, just north of Albury, New South Wales, Australia, just on the Victoria-New South Wales border. So thanks very much for everyone for watching. Thanks very much for the great support that we're getting in terms of numbers and people commenting and views and so on. And yeah,